Hello, everyone. Welcome to Elder Scrolls Readings. I am Chibi Joe, and we are reading Fragment on Artaeum by Tars, Il, and Selma. The Isle of Artaeum is the third largest island in the Somerset archipelago. Located south of the Moradunnan village of Potenza, and west of the mainland village of Rudensabe. It is best known for being the home of the Sigic Order, perhaps the oldest monastic group in Tamriel. The earliest written record of Sigics is from the 20th year of the First Era, and tells the tale of the author, the renowned Breton sage Vornet, traveling to the Isle of Artaeum to meet with the right master of the Sigics, Eachesis. Even then, the Sigics were the counselors of kings and proponents of the Elder Way, taught to them by the original people of Tamriel. The Elder Way is a philosophy of meditation and study said to bind the forces of nature to the individual's will. It differs from Magicka in origin, but the effects are much of the same. That being said, it is perhaps more than coincidence that the Isle of Artaeum literally vanished from the shores of Somerset at the beginning of the Second Era, at about the time of the founding of the Mages Guild of Tamriel. Various historians and scholars have published theories about this, but perhaps none but Aeschylus and his own could shed light on this. 500 years passed and Artaeum returned. The Sigics on the isle consisted of persons, mostly elves, who had disappeared and were presumed dead over the Second Era. They could not, or would not, offer an explanation for Artaeum's whereabouts during that time, or the fate of Aeschylus, and the original council of Artaeum. Currently, the Sigics are led by the Lore Master Solaris, who has presided over the Council of Artaeum for the last 250 years. The Council's influence in world politics is tidal. The kings of Somerset, particularly those of Moradunnan, have often sought the Sigics' opinion. Uriel V was much influenced by the Council in the early, most glorious part of his reign. Before his disastrous attack on Akavir, it has even been suggested that the fleet of King Orgum of Pandonia was destroyed by a joint effort of Emperor Antiochus and the Sigic Order. The last four emperors, Uriel VI, Morohatha, Pelagius Septim V, and Uriel VII, has been suspicious of the Sigics, even enough to refuse ambassadors for the Isle of Artaeum in the imperial city. The Isle of Artaeum is difficult to chart geographically. It is said that parts of it exist simultaneously in multiple dimensions and continuously shift either at random or by decree of the council. Visitors to the island are so rare to be almost unheard of, and anyone desirous of a meeting with a Sigic may find contacts in Pontanza and Rusimbe, as well as many of the kingdoms of Somerset. Were it more accessible, Artaeum would be a favored destination for travelers. I have been to the isle once and still dream of the idyllic orchards and pastures, the still and silent lagoons, the misty woodlands, and the unique Sigic architecture that seems to be as natural but wondrous as the surroundings. The Sephora Tower in particular I would study, for it is a ruin from a civilization that predates the Altmer by several hundred years, and is still used in certain rites by the Sigics. Perhaps one day I might return. Note, the author is currently on the Isle of Artaeum by gracious consent of Master Sarginius of the Council of Artaeum. I find this really interesting. I know I read this out of order. It actually should have been before the Memory Stone. But I find it really interesting because you do meet the Psijics in Skyrim. I have only played Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim. And the fact that you actually do meet a Psijic in Skyrim and discuss with him. I don't know if he's like the leader of the Psijics. I don't remember that far. But yeah, quite interesting. All right, everybody. It's Stories with Sav tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoy. And it's from what I remember, it is the final chapter of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So enjoy the finale of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And we'll be back next week with another episode. Unfortunately, D&D had to be canceled due to terrible weather. So we'll be doing 3 Elder Scrolls readings in a row. We did last week, this week, and the following week. Hopefully, it'll be Cal Strong's Finest, episode 19. After next week. So have an awesome day and a good night.